So I did set up a new shortcut. So when you're in here, instead of clicking, so click F5, click F5, click F5. It's also now 1, 2, 3, 4. So 2, once we're hit it. See, it's still here.
Okay, go ahead. Line's really good. Yes. Okay. Let's see if we can get it here. As far as it will go. All right, good throw. It's just slow. Let's come under. It's got a curl. Okay, go ahead, yep. All the way, line looks great now. You make it legit. That's fine, good line. Yes, line. Yep. Yes. Yes, hard. Whoa, whoa.
And we're back. Draw, what is this, 4, I think? Draw 4 of the Women's Mid-Atlantic. It's been a long day thus far, if you're
Right there, Rainey.
handling various duties around the club, like some of us are. We have a gripping matchup today on Sheet B. Team Behm, Potomac favorite. Team Behm is throwing the Yellow Rocks versus Team Freeman.
All the way, hurry, hurry, hurry.
Freeman throwing the Red Rocks. Black Cross is elimination.
Yep, go on. Yep, finish it. No! Great shot, Rainey.
We are already mixing it up at this end. Nice draw. Round a corner guard. Team Behm. Not clear who has hammer. I'm going to guess that it is Team Freeman, just by the placement of that center guard. But
same thing, Rainey, right here is great.
last rock for Rainey Delaney, second. And yep, indeed, it is Team Behm with hammer. Team Behm currently shot, sitting edge of the 8-foot. Not a bad spot.
Okay, lot of room. Little more weight, you said? Okay, yep, go ahead. All the way, hurry. Hard, hard, hard.
Apparently we have the skips mic'd up this game. Some great insight.
Good shot, thank you, that's fine.
I think the sweepers thought that was a little more weight, maybe just a slightly different path. Rock ends up a little short of the house, but not a bad result. Forcing Christie to take a look at this run back. Rock over curls, wisely coming off to make sure that they remove one of the guards completely. Didn't remove it completely, instead pops it into the house for second shot. So someone's going to be scoring this end.
T-weight is great.
So here's Judy Rackison, who's the third for Team Behm. Going for a little tap.
I think that's the call.
It's got to curl a little bit. Yep, go ahead now. Whoa, I changed my mind.
Great shot.
That's a good shot, thank you.
Makes the raise, pops it behind the, maybe not fully behind, but behind the corner guard nonetheless. Sinks the right side behind the corner guard, the right side being the correct side. Making the double harder.
Perhaps a hit and roll opportunity here, though, Melvin, for Freeman.
I'd say so. Maybe they were thinking the run back on that shot. Could have come off it, let it curl a bit.
It seemed like an odd call there. Seemed like they were caught in between shots.
Yep. That can happen sometimes.
Just draw here. Here's fine. Perfect, Miriam.
Kendall brimming with experience. I don't think you'll see her make too many tactical mistakes. But both of these teams are pretty experienced.
Really good.
So I'm looking forward to a good match. Match? Game? Curling match?
Are we here?
Match? Yeah, I think we can go with match.
Okay.
Okay. We're tapping. Yep, all the way.
So another one looping in here for Behm.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you.
Yeah, just a touch more weight, but the end result isn't bad. I don't think there's a triple there.
No, but still some room for that hit and roll underneath if Freeman wants to. Maybe even remove two.
This is a fair amount of ice, though. I suspect the primary goal is the make sure we roll under the guard. They will need to cross the nose of this rock for sure. Nose might just pop it into the 4-foot even more. Best case scenario, if it does roll through the 4-foot, you're still going to be second shot.
Yeah, and Freeman without the hammer here, so they have to be a bit careful.
Yes. But the best thing you could say is at least all the rocks are grouped together. This hit underway.
Looks like it's on the guard here.
Yeah, I'm sitting right behind the hack, and I did see a bit of a outside to inside motion with the hand on the release. So.
Yeah, not the result they were looking for at all there.
I think just draw here.
So
if I'm
could be
here,
big
that's
problems.
Okay.
Just a bit unlucky with that result.
So I think
The only thing you don't want to do here is draw it in too deep. Get back 4, back 8 area.
Oh, here maybe?
Couldn't have said it better or more authentically myself.
Thank you very much. But I don't expect that kind of mistake from Kendall, really. As you say, very experienced.
4-foot. However, lighter is better than deep.
There, you just said it. Lighter is better than deep.
Yes.
So, just short's okay too, but yeah.
Great communication with the sweepers.
Maybe a little less. Yeah. Okay.
I love having these skips mic'd up. It's like having them sitting right here in the warm room with us.
Go ahead then.
Except
really
they're
good,
much
so it's
colder.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah, Yeah, absolutely, and it's great to get the feedback from the skips and hear that communication. So this one hanging out wide here. It's going to rub the guard.
Girl.
Or maybe just squeak past.
Just sneak past. Not going to be shot, but
It's a pretty handy position there.
Good judge, ladies. Thank you.
Hard to get in with the draw now, so bit of a quandary here what to do for
Probably pretty
Freeman.
close to
Could
the right
perhaps
wing.
raise
Maybe
the
just a little bit
red.
more, but it's really straight there. Holy
I think
cow.
that's going to be the best option, as you mentioned. I don't see a
Yeah.
draw path.
I
Suppose
just
the
remember
in-turn
perhaps
draw to
maybe
catch
if
more
it's-
of the 8-foot is there around the somewhat longer red guard.
No, I just throw it.
Yeah, definitely. Although it's always, it's not a very palatable shot to be out that wide in the first end.
I have a lot
It
of.
looks like they are going for this
just a lot
tap
of
up.
rotation. Okay. Like I have like 5 rotations in rocks usually.
See what kind of weight they're planning here.
Do you try to control that for what you want to do, or just kind of what you have?
It's just like when I play competitively, if you have 5 rotations, it's not really going to hurt you. But if you have 2 rotations, that could hurt you.
So here's the
It's because the ice is
final stone
a
for
little bit
Freeman
cleaner
underway.
for sure.
They're not touching it yet. Just going to clip the. Well, that's not what they needed.
Not the result they were looking for.
This is my last one, I think.
She
Let's
may have
try to
gotten
draw here
fooled
and
a
see if
little
we can
bit
get
by the
shot,
action
right?
on her first rock. I mentioned I did see pretty clear movement of the
I mean,
arm
the only other thing I
on the
have is
release.
tap,
That release
but
much
that's
cleaner.
Not a great angle.
Rock subsequently ran much straighter.
So I actually think just
So
edge of
a
8.
free draw for 4 points here, I think, for Behm.
Indeed.
No,
Some of our astute
I want to play, but I don't think
viewers
it's
may
gonna
have
go
noticed the conversation between Kendall and Judy,
They're pretty
Device.
slow out here.
Kendall talking about the number of rotations she puts on
I
the
think
rocks.
it's still really slow
She tends
out
to
here
put
too, huh?
4 to 5 rotations, having experience
So we're just gonna
playing
draw
in
to those ones.
nationals arena.
Pardon? Yeah. Little slow.
So what's the advantage of that, Melvin, compared to, say, 2 or 3?
So you'll notice that when you throw a few more rotations like that, the rocks will tend to track a little straighter.
Yep.
They may also track a little longer subsequently because they're traveling less distance. So the end result is that Kendall will have to take a little less ice as compared to the rest of the players on her team.
This one looking good if it's got the legs.
Sure does.
And I think it's
Good
there.
sweeping, thank you.
That is long enough.
Thank you. What club are you guys from? Bucks County? Yeah. Okay.
Big score of 4 in this first end. Never hurts to get an early lead, especially of a few points. It really just changes the way you
Top
approach the
four is
game.
great.
You will see Kendall ask for every rock in the house now. She has no need to score any more points.
Yeah, dream start there.
Okay.
Although often you find that having a big lead early, especially at the club level, teams find it hard to maintain that lead, play a clean game. So there's plenty of time for some surprises.
Yep, this ice not always the easiest to hit on. Even
Good try, Stacy.
normal weight hits, 9.5 seconds or so, they will curl. Sometimes a foot, sometimes a little more than that, depending on where you are in the sheet. We're not professional ice makers here.
No, all this ice is a result of hard work by members of the club, including the person sitting next to me, Melvin, who was just out earlier. So a lot of hard work goes into making this ice. Looks like a call is to go in the rings here, but it looks like they will. Well, they are trying to get it there. I think I wouldn't have minded coming up short for a corner guard there.
I agree.
Let's
Utilize
take
the
this
free
out.
guard zone.
Normal weight.
This kind of plays exactly into what Kendall envisioned, being able to keep the house open.
Here's Stacy Tedesco playing lead for Kendall Behm. Looks like it's hanging out a little bit.
It's got to curl just a little more. It's just it's really straight here.
Yeah.
Good try.
So
Good weight.
here Kendall saying just running very straight there. And all of a sudden a chance to lie two.
The junior deuce, as I like to call it. I didn't come up with that name. Simply means trying to score your deuce by having 2 rocks in the house with no guards in play, as opposed to utilizing guards.
This one needs to sit down a little bit.
Nice shot.
Looks like it'll be pretty good.
All right, Rainey, let's take this out.
And this is a good test of whether, when a team is well ahead, whether they can play a clean game, make the hitting game work for them. It's only the second end, so it only takes a couple of misses, and all of a sudden, things aren't going your way. So
Close. Yep.
It's a good point. Look,
All the way. Hurry. Really, really, really
ooh, and this
hard.
rock really starts to curl.
Hard, 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 hard.
Originally, it looked like it was running a bit straight.
All the way. Great sweeping, ladies.
she just got it.
Pretty soft weight, as you notice.
Yeah, maybe just a little bit down on the weight there, but well held by the sweepers. So just Freeman just going to repeat their previous shot, ignore the yellow at the back.
Yeah, I think oftentimes at the club level you'll see sometimes even with a lead, teams will throw guards. They kind of use them as like a safety blanket, secures, some added security. They feel that a half-made draw under a guard is better than the prospect of completely flashing a hit when you try to keep the house open. And certainly, it, really just depends on the strengths and weaknesses of your team.
It's great.
Right, absolutely. You just have to be confident that you can play that hitting game and not make too many mistakes. And if you don't feel like that, then absolutely play within your strengths. And so another hit coming here for Rainey Delaney.
Yep.
Rainey Delaney, one of the better names in curling.
All the way. Really hard.
Sweepers on this one very hard.
All the way. Hurry, hurry,
Perhaps
hurry.
a little
hurry.
bit down weight again.
Yeah, we noticed in the early game that the inside-out hits were curling
That's
a
just
bundle.
fine. That's a good shot. Thank you.
But the sweepers worked this one hard. Turned it into a great shot.
Yeah, it took out the yellow at the back of the house, but they won't be worried about that.
No, rock in the back of the house is almost a liability anyway.
This one needs to curl a long way.
Yeah, I think Team Freeman thinking, picturing the blank at this point.
Just set that one a little bit out there, I think.
They could opt to draw around that yellow shot. Even though it's in the house, it could effectively act as a guard if you draw to the tee line or just behind the tee line a little bit.
All right, Judy. Top 4 is good. Top 12's okay too.
So Kendall now thinking, well, just lie two and maybe force a single point. Still a long way to go in this end, but
It's really a dream scenario is scoring a few points and then forcing your opponent, getting the hammer right back.
Okay.
Can't ask for
Gotta
more.
move a little bit.
This rock looks like it has plenty of legs.
Okay, we'll just play this
looks like
straight
it's
top.
going to tap
That's
up their
fine.
own one.
Yeah.
Not the original call, but
That will work.
that works.
May actually be sitting too. Unfortunately, no overheads are available on the webcast, but
Does look like it might be biting that top one.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell for sure.
maybe I'll just snap a picture and post it to my Facebook page.
So a run double, I think, is the call here. Sorry, just a raised take, I beg your pardon. Difficult shot. And this one, I think it's going to hang out there.
Should we miss all of the? Yeah. That's unlucky. Second time we've seen a rock run really straight down that line.
Let's try the same thing. Top 4. I'll give you less ice.
Really great situation here. Chance to just draw in another one. Really put some pressure on.
We have 3 other games going on for this 4th draw.
Okay, let's wait a little bit.
We will try to bring you updates. Certainly, if there's any teams you know that are playing that you're interested in,
you're
drop
all
it into
there,
the
you're
chat
all
box. And we'll try to make
That's
sure
a
we
little
keep
quicker
regular
than this
updates
line now,
for you.
I think. Good shot, Judy. Good sweeping, ladies.
So that one just running a little deep to the back 8, so it does present a freeze opportunity.
Yeah, the blank's out of the picture, so no risk trying the freeze. Let me correct my statement. The only risk in trying the freeze is throwing a guard.
And it looks like, unfortunately, what they have done.
Yes.
Yeah, that was tolerance there was heavy instead of light, I think.
Absolutely.
I think I'm going to come this way because this path is pretty good now. I don't need to be further. And I'd really like to actually just be like right here.
So I think Kendall could draw into the top 8 area. Top 8, top 4.
Full 8 foot, just biting the 4 foot is great.
But you can see there, as Mel was saying earlier, not much ice taken compared to some of the other players, and that possibly due to Kendall's rotation.
Yeah, I think it's just a little, because we throw so many rocks there now. Go ahead, if you need to. Go ahead.
Line looks really nice.
Yep, all the way then.
Ooh, maybe a small sweeping error there.
Just running.
Ooh,
Yeah, they
it's
really
quick
wanted that
there.
top 8, top 4.
No, good job.
Now, quite a big pocket now presented.
That is quite a bucket.
Yeah, I thought it was light.
Could be a bit of a let-off here. Freeman has now opportunity.
Yeah, because I figured if I was light, that
Ice may just be getting a little faster as the game goes on.
sugar.
We are 3 draws in without since the ice was scraped and freshly prepared, so just tend to run a little slower for a little longer.
That's where I threw it to every time. Every time. Same exact spot. No, I ended up there. I was aiming for the 4 foot.
Chrissy with a good-looking shot shaping up here.
Just needs to wait. It looks like it's coming up a little light.
Well, it is really curling a lot, and that's a great example of what we were just talking about. I think
the
Christy
same
throws
thing.
probably closer to
I was a little
2
wide there,
rotations,
huh?
maybe even a little less.
So, and some
Down a
outward
similar
motion
path,
there,
that
too.
rock running a
And
little
it just doesn't
slower,
curl.
definitely curling a lot more.
So yellow still lying at least 2.
So
It
I'm
looks
gonna
like
try to
3
throw just a
actually
little
here.
bit
So
less weight.
Kendall will try the same shot, just try draw into the top 8 area.
Because it should be even a little faster yet.
Notice Kendall only taking edge of the 4 foot here for this draw.
Mine's fine, so wait if you can.
Sweeper's not touching it.
Yeah,
No,
this rock
that's
looks
more.
a little heavy.
Holy moly.
Kendall a little surprised by the speed of the ice there. Wow, a bit of a let-up, really, to be honest, for Team Freeman here. They got a fairly straightforward draw for a single.
They just kept getting
Don't see
faster.
if there's any way to get any more than one, though.
I'm not seeing that as a possibility.
Yeah. Because I swear.
Yeah,
I
great
could
situation.
Oh.
You can really throw this one fairly heavy. Hack weight would even do just fine.
Yeah.
There's almost no possibility of
We're still 1,
rolling
2, and 3,
too far
so
if you hit that outside rock.
it's okay. They get
And I don't believe, there might be a hole just big enough to sneak through, but you'd have to be pretty unlucky.
So fairly straightforward hammer shot coming here.
Yeah. She opted to keep the weight up.
She's throwing a takeout now. Okay, I see. I thought she was trying to drop to it still. It's like, no wonder it looks like so much weight.
Should be okay.
Nice shot.
Nice shot there.
Great choice, I think.
So that will be the single point.
Most games around the ice are still in the second end. So it has some first end results, though. She'd see Raptor Squad versus Misfit Takeouts. Sorry. Looks like the Misfit Takeouts scored 1 with the hammer in the first. The game 1-0. Sheet A features Team Kirkman from Potomac versus Team Fermender, which I believe is from Philadelphia. Regardless, Yellow scores 2 with the hammer in the first. That game at 2-0.
Right around, Stacy.
Nice center guard throw in there, and Kendall opting to go straight behind it.
Yeah, Team Freeman would have really liked to have scored the deuce. You don't need to get all of the points back at one end, but you certainly, when you have the hammer, you want to make sure you're scoring multiples.
Yeah,
This rock over curls.
Something, because it just started to turn. Yeah, because I think it's over, so.
Could have been discussing
That's
what
fine.
happens to the rock there. Maybe picked on something or curl a long way.
That was unnatural, to put it mildly, I'd say.
This one also going to overcurl a bit. It's going to tap the center guard. Or just come up a bit light.
All right, same thing, Stacy.
See if I can get an accurate time on this rock to get a read on what the players are dealing with.
Line's way better. Yes. Yep, all the way. Line's really good.
There does appear to be no lack of curl.
All the way, as far as it goes. Get it partially buried. Great shot, Stacy. Good sweeping, ladies.
By my look from here, which is not a super great vantage point, but I think decent enough, that shot, which landed top 4, close to top 4, comes up about 13 seconds, hog to hog. So close to 23-second ice. Certainly not Briar quality, or maybe Scotty's quality, I should say.
Well, clipping the guard there, but not bad results.
No, the double guard was not doing them any favors. Actually, it looks like red is currently sitting shot.
Can you see this?
It does look like it, and they're maybe partially buried behind that very long
Yeah, or
corner
my bro.
guard. It's hard to see from this angle.
Yeah, from the
Okay.
right-hander hack, I think you'll
throw
see about
that
half
nice
that
weight
rock.
that you threw in the last end, okay?
So there should be plenty of room to get around there. The guard is very long.
Yeah, the guard is barely in play. It may not even be visible on the cameras.
It's just about there.
Okay. Line's really good, so just
It's looking pretty close.
it's gonna be beautiful, all on her own.
This looks like nice bumper weight, great weight control.
Great shot,
Maybe
Rainey.
even closer to hack
Good
weight.
walking, lady.
Lovely weight control. I believe that was Rainey Delaney.
Certainly was.
Okay.
And so it looks like it's going to be the double attempt here. Freeman. Nose hit should do it. It's close.
Oh, just over curls. Pretty
Good try
unlucky. Yeah, pretty unlucky result. Known Jane for
Same
a long
weight.
time.
We're just gonna kind of hit this and go over here. You don't need to get that out.
Great curler.
Actually, let's just draw here. That's easier.
Kendall just changing her mind there. Was originally going for like a little chip shot, but now just opting for the straight draw. Lie two.
Yeah, tricky little one. Play the hit. Over curl, never hit nose. You would end up leaving your opponent buried behind your own rock.
Yep, all the way. Hurry. Our girls. Whoa, take a look. You're fine. Yeah, that's fine too.
A nice shot there.
That works. Great shot.
Yep, that rock just fine behind the tee. Most important thing was it to come up second shot. Still opportunities here for Freeman to at least shrink the scoring area.
Yeah, going for the raise or the tap. I'm not sure. Looks like a tap judging from this weight.
Yeah, a bit more of an aggressive call. Could just nose it.
Just not curling over there as much as they'd like.
Yeah. They caught just in between, maybe. Still leaves the shooter in a good spot.
Right there is good.
So good weight control there. Definitely important to keep
Here's
your
a fake
shooter
tip.
around.
Yeah, a bit of a nuisance stone there for Behm. It's not very easy to remove.
You know, you'd love to remove it, but it's not trivial. Instead, they're going to draw around it.
How much weight? Okay, go ahead.
This
hit
might be
then.
tight.
Line's really good. Okay, well then, well. Just, oh, you
They're
hit
just
it?
going to rub
Okay.
the... Yeah. Just coming up a little light there.
So she hit it. I don't know
Yeah,
if it
it's
was,
kind of a minor
okay, so
tragedy.
it's your call.
It looks like there was a touch on the stone there.
You can take
I
it
think
out.
it was after the hog line, so they're just deciding what to do with it.
Kind of leave it, or you can move the red where you think it's there.
So for those of you who might be wondering, if a burn occurs after the stone has crossed the hog line, then it's not an automatic removal. The non-offending team has the choice of what to do.
That is correct, and Kendall explaining it very clearly. The non-offending team has the option of removing the stone, returning everything back to how it was. leaving the shot as is or trying to interpret what they think would have happened had the stone not been burned. I tend to feel that that burn looked very insignificant. So the end result would likely be not really any different than what happened.
Yeah, I think so. It looks like they have decided to just leave it there, deciding there was no
If you take
significant...
it, the rock goes back to where it was.
Oh, or maybe not. Looks like they're still discussing what to do here.
Okay, yeah, so it'll just be kind of, yeah. I don't think it was quite that far up.
All right, so they have decided, I think, that they're going to remove that
Okay.
yellow
Like
stone.
Certainly within the rights.
That is absolutely within the rules. So
Oh, yeah, no, that's okay.
Returning this draw is guest commentary. We have Courtney Shaw.
Hi, guys.
good afternoon, Courtney.
Oh, man, we lost viewership. We're down to 15?
Well, now that you're back, maybe we can increase that.
So what have I missed? It looks like Kendall got off to a good start. Took
All
four,
right, Judy, let's
forced
take
in
that
the
out.
second.
Grandma, wait.
It's
Yep.
a good way to start the game.
Things going pretty smoothly so far, but a long way to go. And a nice, fairly straightforward takeout here for Judy Rackison. Just have to make sure you hit it slightly on the inside.
Yes. Hard.
Well, this one a bit tight, I think.
Hurry. Hard, hard, hard.
Yeah, this ice not forgiving of any kind of outward motion.
Sorry, guys. I missed that. I should have upped you. My fault.
Kendall is such a great skip. She's taking responsibility for that.
Yeah, and I'm not sure that even if they had come off it, it would have at least gotten through the hole.
Yeah, it would have been hard. That one just had jam written all over it when it started to overcurl. It's hard to save those on that inside out. If you get them going at all, they just, they're very unforgiving. We had that happen in our game as well.
Yeah, I think we had a bit of a dome effect happening. Maybe the center line slightly high, forcing more curl inside out than outside in.
And we'll take your word for that since you are doing the ice.
And one thing I will say about our rocks, they may be old and light and have terrible striking bands, but the running bands are gloriously worn in, so they will curl no matter what.
Yes.
So they still will climb the hill and curl back to center.
Yeah, we had a couple. If you get close to that center line, once they hit that center, they do go. Oh, no.
Maybe returning the favor.
Oh.
Oh, just a little down weight there, I think. It was only
All right, I think
maybe
I just
hack.
want to hit this and roll here. Actually.
I think they wanted a bit more than that.
I don't think those. Yeah. Sure,
I think that's a fair assessment.
Pretty straight.
So a bit of a let-off here. Now, pretty straightforward opportunity to just hit stick and lie three.
I like Kendall's chances for making this
Other
shot.
way. We can roll anyway.
Kind of a
We can roll
tragic
out.
turn of
We just
events.
Don't want to hit nose.
For Team Freeman.
We played Team Freeman this morning and definitely found that the draw game was their stronger suit.
Yep. Whoa.
Nicely done there.
Sit. Oh.
Oh. Kendall electing to throw it.
Yeah, that's better.
Not a
than
light
overcurling,
takeout.
so.
Normal weight. Maybe concerned about the curl on the center line. Subsequently, after hitting not quite on the nose, rolls out.
So you have the mic.
So
pocket,
what
too.
would you be doing here for Freeman? Thinking about the freeze, maybe?
Yeah, it's like supposed to be for.
Yeah, limiting. If you play a takeout, you're basically conceding 2. And when you're already down 3, that's not really the outcome you look for.
Yeah.
So
That being said, it's also they don't really have a place to roll to either. You know that yellow guard is extremely long, and they'd be hard pressed to be able to put the rock in a position that Kendall wouldn't have some shot.
Yeah.
Yep, good point. So I wouldn't want to be throwing the freeze here, but at the same time,
You don't end up like.
I think she has no choice but to throw the freeze here. The good news is the yellow rock is just behind the tee. It is in an ideal spot for the freeze. Couldn't really pick a much better spot.
Well,
Maybe back button.
As long as you don't mind me saying something really dumb. It's fine.
Sweepers on it early for weight.
No,
And now for line 2, it sounds like.
So.
Skip coming out to try and help here, but
So it does look very short, unfortunately.
Shorts the house completely.
Warmer
in fact.
each game, so just right there. Yeah. Probably there.
So, unfortunate outcome for Team Freeman. Shorting the
So I think that
freeze.
nice back 8 weight that I have nailed should be okay for 4 foot on this side.
Because Kendall, pretty open draw.
But anything in the house is fine. Preferably above the tee would be great. Oh,
I don't
this
know.
is the last shot.
I was.
Oh, it's
And the house
hammer.
is good.
it's nice to know I'm not the only one who's done that now and
Go
then.
ahead.
Well, it doesn't seem like Kendall threw back 8 weight on that one. Sweepers are going hard out of her hand.
Yeah, this one's going to struggle.
Uh-oh, Judy's coming out to help.
Oh, sorry,
That's
guys.
an unforced error, really. But still 2, so not too much damage done.
Not too much damage done. It just makes the score 6-1. But these women like to get a lot of rocks in play, so we'll probably see some battling back by this team.
Elsewhere in the club, sheet A, this is the Kirkman-Fermender showdown. Fermender has stolen one in the second end. They game at 3-0. A battle brewing on sheet C between the Raptor squad and the Misfit Takeouts. The Raptor squad scores 2 with the hammer in the second. I'm sorry, 1 with the hammer in the second. The game all tied at 1.
Yeah, yep.
And similar situation on D. The McCartney versus Bemis
Good
game.
line, Stacey.
Both teams scoring 1 in the first end and second end. That game tied at 1.
Both teams scoring 1 in the first and second end? How does that even happen, Mullen?
Both teams scoring 1 in the first end. And then they just skip the second end.
Oh, okay.
So meanwhile,
Kendall is crinkling wrappers in front of her microphone to indicate that she is eating candy while playing.
first stone for Kendall coming up light. Wanted it in the house, came up short as a 2-guard.
Yeah, 6-1 lead. She's certainly wanted that in the house.
I'm not sure what the call was with this second rock, but I would have expected a guard to be put in play when I was down by 5 points. But I did notice in the game that we played against Freeman this morning, the lead was tending to be running a little heavy and putting those rocks in the house. So.
Yes. All the way, hurry.
Kendall choosing to ignore it.
Yeah, also an interesting call. I guess
Surprising because Stacey's a good hitter, so she could certainly have made that shot. But this looks like a great shot. If they can get it there for a shot,
It
it'll
just
be
needs to get there.
fantastic. Oh, Rainey giving it her all.
Just far enough.
Is it a shot?
It sure is.
I think
Stacy
so.
also
It
apparently
does appear to be shot.
good with the draw. It's great placement.
I think. Looks like yellow to me. Kendall wasn't even sure.
Asking the warm room for advice.
Wow, there's a lot of squealing going on in this warm room. Nice weight from Tracy on the second rock here, but comes up
All right,
a
Rainey,
little
let's
wide
hit
of
this
the spot they were
that
looking
same
for.
really nice way you've been
Comes
throwing.
up third shot, but it's a really great placement. The rock can definitely come in handy later, even if Rainey manages to make the shot perfect, which is the hit and roll into the 4-foot.
Yeah.
A rock that was just thrown can be used, run it back or a tap back. So game on for this end.
Contrary to everything we've seen,
Whoa, whoa,
this,
whoa, whoa,
this
I
hit
lied.
actually running pretty straight.
Good shot. Thank
I did
you,
pick
Rainey.
up a bit of a motion on the release, setting the rock down the center line. So just straighten it out a little bit. Interesting tactic, peeling the guard. What's your take, Andy?
Yeah, it seems like obviously they want to make sure they're going to be able to score, but when you're down by so many, you probably need to take a few more risks. Try
I
and
would
use those
agree.
guards.
Play that freeze again, and you've got one rock in the house.
Let's
You
just
get a
take this
freeze
out.
onto that yellow, you're not in bad shape.
Yeah, a bit too conservative for my liking, that one, but
Particularly with a 5-shot deficit.
The whole 4-foot available, even a straight draw on the outturn side could have been an option.
Yep. All the way.
Regardless, the peel
Really
executed perfectly.
Really hard. All the way.
this one looks like it's going to overcurl. Maybe take out their own yellow here, but maybe they can redirect.
Okay, that's fine.
They do future wrecked, but currently second shot.
Chrissy Freeman calling to split the house.
Not a bad call, for sure.
I might be inclined to guard that situation.
Plenty of ways to skin this cat. Some might say, given the deficit, using that as a guard and drawing around it, also an option.
Wow, this is looking really heavy.
All right, Judy.
Well, that's a missed opportunity.
Hit the yellow. The red will go.
The red will go. More importantly, I'd say yellow should be able to sit 2.
Agreed.
Yes.
Some good weight being thrown by Judy here, and it looks like the line's pretty close.
Yep. All the way. Hurry, 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 hurry.
Just
Great
Oh.
shot. Thank you.
very nice.
The rock picking up a lot of curl at the end. So unfortunately, both yellows do not stay.
That's okay. They don't need yellows in play.
So now if you're Freeman, how do you generate points in this situation? Sure, you could maybe make the blank, but you can run out of ends eventually. So
Halfway through an 8-end game. Maybe throwing hits is not the way I would have chosen to play it.
Could have maybe tried to use that as a tight guard. Difficult to get around, but not impossible. Definitely don't want to do this, though.
No. I think that was not the option they were looking for.
You have to be a little bit careful on these sheets. If you do go wide enough, they will hang out there, and something that perhaps the local teams have a bit of home field advantage. They're familiar with that. They can hang very straight on the wide side. So just to draw into the top 12, top 8 here.
Looks like Judy has a case of the hack waiters on the second rock. It's a hard adjustment after throwing an up weight hit on your first rock and then trying to bring it down and throw a draw into the forefoot.
So Freeman going for the hit second time. I always, my preference for these personally is usually to go inside out just because of the line issue I mentioned earlier, but as long as you know the line, you can work the line.
This one looks like it's taking almost the identical path to the first one.
Yes, and I think that'll find it'll yield an identical result.
Yeah, unfortunately, almost a carbon copy there, and that's both teams making a couple mistakes here.
Just right here, we don't need to be quite to center line. So
The big difference is it's really on Team Freeman to be executing on shots with a high precision. Really no pressure on Team Behm at this point.
Anything in front of the tee is really nice.
Any, as she just
Team
mentioned.
Behm. I totally just caught that. I like it. Team Behm.
The only warning I have about this is they're coming back towards the center.
Go ahead, yep.
They are likely to leave a hit and roll under that yellow that is top 12. So potentially complicating Kendall's final rock.
So would you be tempted to draw the open side instead?
Might be tempted to put this on
Which is really what happened.
essentially where it ended up.
Yep.
Maybe she knew that that rock would run so straight. I wasn't expecting
Yeah, she
that.
did kind of indicate. She said it doesn't need to get back to center.
Well, that's a really hard double
she
for
did
them.
suggest that kind of being on the side was an
That
okay
was not too big,
outcome.
but
I threw it really light.
So they may well try the long roll here. I mean, no reason not to. Pretty difficult though.
I got to say, I still like the draw around the rock at the top 12. That rock coming up short, only in the 8-foot, could easily sit second or even shot with this
Yeah,
rock.
that rock isn't even full 8. You can definitely bury a rock full 8 behind that guard, even if you're behind the tee. The inside out seems to actually have a bit more finish to it than the outside in, so I think you could make that shot.
it's a arena, but it's dedicated.
I've been there. I practiced there this summer.
Yeah, they have summer ice.
Yeah.
So they just,
Well,
I think
looks
that's
like it will
dedicated
be
ice in like March.
a hit and roll attempt.
Yeah, I
Tried
practiced
to
there.
a bunch in April, and they want to.
They're sweeping hard. I think they need to come off if they want the roll.
I think so. Well, they will roll a little bit, but not enough.
Not enough.
Got about 10.5 seconds on that shot. So
There.
easy
Melvin is
control.
speaking in hog-to-hog terms.
Just a nice little hit.
Just a nice little hit.
And I'd like to just nose it.
Makes it sound so easy.
Just hit it on the nose. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd really like to see Team Freeman getting more rocks in play. You know, I think they're getting a little nervous about giving up a steal, you know, getting too many opponent rocks in play. But really what they need to be thinking about is how can they get themselves in a position where their rocks are hard to remove.
Yeah. At this point, I would say I wouldn't be afraid if Team Beam stole 8 against me, because I really need to score a lot of points. So losing a game by a bundle versus losing a game by
One.
Winning usually
one or
makes things a
two
little
or
bit
three.
more.
Really no difference.
Nope.
Yeah.
Pride be damned.
Who'd you play?
And
Okay. Oh, okay. She looks a lot like Magic. She does. Yeah. Magic's
So hit
just
and stick should be
small.
enough for a single point here.
I think you're right. Looks like a nose hit would do it.
I think so.
Roll to either side, obviously, would be fine too.
I thought maybe she was Polish or something because I've met 2 men that are Polish named Magic.
Concerning release from my angle. Looks like she held onto the back of that handle a little bit.
It's a good story, so it doesn't matter.
She was sliding a little wide, but I think
There
she's
comes
gonna-
the hook at the end, but
Nice shot.
good shot. Good adjustment. And after 4, Team Freeman puts another one on the board. The score is now
6-2.
6-2.
I definitely like to see a guard be put in play here.
Oh,
Really trying to force the issue a little bit, and
without question. Even 2 guards would probably be the right call.
Interestingly, the broom is just off the center line. Not sure what the call is here.
Well, they do need to steal a lot of points. The corner guard strategy for stealing.
It's like their skip is pointing in the house here, and I think looking for a top 12, but I agree with you. Really, guards are the call right now. Kendall is just going to keep this clean. Really need a chance to put some pressure on. Play a draw game, hope for a couple of misses from the opposition.
Yeah, I really think Team Behm is dialed in on the ice. They know the lines pretty well. I don't think they're going to miss too many hits.
No.
Hard. All the way, hurry. Hard, 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 hard.
Maybe I spoke too
Oh, no, you
soon.
got it. Nice shot,
Nope.
Stacy.
Stacy makes a
Good
great
switching.
shot.
I think that one surprised Kendall a little bit. She didn't seem to be concerned about it after she let go of the rock, but got a little curl on that. Oh, she looks like Freeman is calling for a similar shot.
Ball let down. If you tap this, that's fine too.
Wow, this one catching some really hard curl at the end.
Looks like it may have picked, actually changed.
Whoa, okay,
changed
it's going
direction.
back again.
Ended up in a really nice spot, though. I mean,
I
I
very
mean, that
useful.
appears to be what she was calling.
Maybe without the S turn.
Yeah.
So feature sheet definitely ahead of all of the other sheets. The remaining sheets still in their 3rd end.
Okay, line's fine.
I'm sorry, 4th end.
Looks like Stacy may have put a little extra gas
We
in
might
the
get a
tank
little
on
wick
this
here.
one.
Employing the lean method of making a rock
So
curl.
close.
Trying to get the rub on the guard.
Yes, I think maybe borrowed from Wii curling.
I wish, is there such a thing? I wish there was.
There
Cur-
is weak
There is
curling.
Wii curling. Wow, I didn't know that. I'll have to dig my Wii out of a basement somewhere, wherever it is.
This rock doesn't have a lot of rotation on it, and I have a feeling it's going to go sideways. It appears to be diving at that guard.
You're absolutely right.
She could get to nose and tap. Does it have the weight?
Sure does.
It's in the house.
We have been noting that, especially as rocks cross the center, if you are lazy with your handle, the rocks will curl somewhat unpredictably
Let's
as
go
well.
right there, Rainey.
I think that's just a product of being the 4th draw of the day without a scrape. There's a ton of pebble buildup.
So Kendall opting for the draw here instead of trying to play the run or the peel.
I think this could just be a playing to your players kind of call. You know, I don't know Rainey terribly well, but I'm going to guess that throwing double peels
Line's
is
really
not
good.
her favorite
Stay close.
shot.
Yep. Hard line.
Yeah, absolutely. Sensible. There's nothing wrong with this call either. I mean,
Not at all.
plenty of room to get behind there.
It's tough to
Bars
get
will
rid of
go.
both of those red rocks.
I'm just confused as to how throwing a double
That's good,
peel
thank you.
couldn't be
Good
your favorite
sweeping.
shot.
Unfortunately, she threw a bit more rotation, didn't quite get the finish that Jane got on her first rock. So we'll leave it open for the takeout, and you can't. She won't be able to roll behind that guard because they're about level. But if she hits it thin, she could kind of roll in that direction, move around the rocks.
This looks like a good shot.
Sorry.
Result is pretty good. Neither rock are behind the guard. There's no hit and roll behind the guard either.
Nope.
So same call here, going for the draw. T-line draw.
I'm going to say I might have changed my tactic a little bit at this
Okay, line's
point
good.
and thought about playing a hit
We here?
with Rainey's
Yeah, looks
second
like it.
rock.
Looking pretty close here, though, on the draw. Just needs to get a piece buried. Not sure it's going to do that.
It's a little bit behind the tee.
That's a good shot, thank you.
Pretty nice weight from Rainey. Just couldn't really get buried there.
Yeah.
So now, chance to just roll a little bit underneath.
If I'm Freeman here, I really think I don't play this with hit weight. I play this as a heavy draw. I try to tuck as much behind that top rock as possible. Leave that yellow rock behind yours. Set up the jam.
Yeah, I
It's
agree
very
with you.
tempting to sit 3 here, but that shot behind the tee is really a gift, and I'd like to see her work a little harder for the steal.
No, I agree with you, Courtney. I mean, leave those rocks at the back. Put some pressure on.
All right, Judy, let's
Yep.
just take this out.
So now I think it will be a hit for Judy.
This looks like a nice shot.
Hard.
May overcurl.
I
Super
think the
septic
line's
go.
pretty good.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Oh.
Sorry, my fault. You had that.
Oh. She clips the top rock by nothing. But Kendall, being a very good skip, owns up to the fact that it was a well-thrown rock and she just had them come off too early.
And now, for the first time really in this game, a good opportunity for Freeman to put a lot of pressure on. It's a nice guard here, and you're setting up well for the steal.
Indeed.
Though this one looks
This
very
one
shy
is
on weight.
really hanging, too. I'm not sure that they're going to curl back.
He's going to struggle to get over. He's just going to get over as a high guard. But yeah, like you say, it still leaves the red open.
Normal, same way is great.
I think just underthrown a bit there.
Yeah. Just a little bit too much ice, too. It's really hard. Once you get close to the center line, once they cross, they really start to go. Oh, no. This one looks like it's hanging out wide.
Oh.
Is she going to clip that outside guard? Oh,
Okay,
no.
that's fine.
Will the yellow stick around? No, I don't think so.
This gives Freeman an opportunity to put up another, make another attempt at that guard. Really put some pressure on the Behm team.
Yeah,
Behm
the
team.
Behm team, absolutely. Yeah. No, this is a good situation for Freeman. Just need to make one good guard. The rock in the 4-foot. They will. I mean, the open side will be available to draw if necessary for Behm, so I won't be panicking about this. But
Yeah, but she's gonna have to put it on the button if this shot is made.
Sorry about your first one. I was trying to get a little too cute and get the roll.
Oh, Kendall. We've
Yeah.
all been guilty of trying to get a little too cute with a shot before.
absolutely.
I was like, I knew we were going to be
Very
close.
like
but
very
then,
positive
like,
communication
right
from
before it hit, I
Kendall.
was like, oh, crap, I
Always
screwed
trying to give good feedback and give the positives.
Kendall is a great
Yeah.
teammate, so a lot of fun to play with. I had the pleasure of playing with her last season and always had a good time.
This guard looking pretty good. It's gonna end up in a really nice spot.
Yep. Leaves a little port, but not very big.
So I think we'll
Yeah.
just draw here.
Probably a little less even, because this guard is really high.
Make a freeze or tap back. Even if you just lie second, that's pretty good.
It's not as slow here. Okay.
Kendall realizing she's not going to be able to really hit her way out of this mess, so she might as well try to beat her to the pin.
Yep. Really hard.
Line looks good. The question is, does it have the weight? Oh, gosh, it's diving towards that
Gotta go.
guard. Oh, no.
It's just a little light for weight.
Yep,
Oh.
yep, take it. Okay. Ooh, I need to go this way. Shoot, my weight was okay. That curled more than I thought. Maybe I just threw it better than I had to throw.
Now, it might be tempting to, well, the obvious thing that comes to mind is to throw another center guard, but you may be also tempting to put another one in there. But you only have one rock in the 4-foot right now. The other two are out on the 12. So Kendall should be able to at least cut it down to one pretty easily.
Yeah.
So I think if I was Freeman, I'd be trying to go in the house here.
Agreed. You have a lot of room behind that guard that Kendall just tapped over. You could sink one behind that guard and put some real pressure on. You might even force her to have to play that tap because she has no port past those two rocks on the left side of the house. This one looks like she may have gotten a bit wide.
Yeah, a really nice shot might be just a quarter buried and sitting top 8.
Oh, this is going to be
But
against the yellow guard.
This could look to be a bit disastrous.
Yeah, that is not the result that she was looking for.
It's really unfortunate.
Oh,
So, same thing, I think.
Yeah, that's really
I
let
don't
Behm
think
off
I
the hook.
can roll it. No.
Yep.
Just
not
Yeah.
only is the straw
I
path
think I can
open
get
for
that
her,
out.
but she only has to draw against
Okay.
the one
because I can
and
feel
not
that
anymore.
really stupid double, but it still only gives us one. So
Yeah, the question is, can you get past and tap that red
That's
back? I
where
think
we
you
were
can. The
last
guard's quite
time?
long. If you throw a back 8 kind of weight.
I think, though, when you have a 3-point lead, priority one is scoring your
probably
one.
just a little bit more weight.
So you would be playing the dead draw here.
Like
Just
8
to the bed?
more.
I would be playing the draw, and
8
if
feet
the
more
line
weight than
looked
I
like
just threw,
it
so-
was good for the tap, I would have my sweepers go hard.
Yeah.
8.
But I think you don't give up a steal here if you can avoid it.
So here is Hammer.
Yep. Yes.
Sweeper's called
Kendall
on.
getting a little nervous on line, which I
All
don't
the way.
think She needs to be as concerned.
I think she may have been calling wait for herself.
Oh, okay.
Maybe. Well, let's see how her judgment is. Looks pretty good from here.
Wow, nice
Oh,
shot.
Wow.
great shot.
Good sweeping.
Perfect draw.
Good sweeping.
Catches back butt.
That is a nice skip straw there.
Yeah, that's going to take a bit of the wind out of the sails of Team Freeman, unfortunately. When you leave someone the button, you really feel like you've got a shot that they could potentially miss. And Kendall, being a former national champion, said, I'm not going to miss a draw to the pin. And she didn't. Wow, the button. Close enough.
Really just let down in Chrissy's last rock,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Sorry, I want to come this way.
Had a good opportunity. So coming back towards us in the sixth end. The score is 7-2 in favor of
Go
Team
ahead.
Behm.
Yeah, and Team Behm continuing to throw lead rocks into the house.
Want to be as close as
Big
we
lead,
can.
of course, no need for any guards. Although this one looks like it's not going to make it there.
Coming up a little short.
Trying hard, but
All right, but that's fine.
Elsewhere in the club on sheet D, this is the McCartney-Bemis match. Team Bemis steals in the fourth. That game at 3-1. Unbelievably, it would appear that sheet C just completed their fourth end. Not
Wow.
sure how that happened.
Wow, there's some shuffling going on down the sheet.
And sheet A has neglected to post their fourth end score, so no update there.
this one looks like it. Well, it might make the rings. It's very hard to see from here. Oh, just in the rings.
Let's draw around, Stacy.
But Kendall just going to ignore that for now. It's kind of wide on the wings. Those are not easy. Don't necessarily want to go chasing them.
It's interesting. She really keeps going for putting the rocks in the house, which I think sometimes
Okay,
when
line's
you
good.
need to take a lot of points, you feel like you need to put every rock in the house. But really, you need to
hard
get some
line,
guards
yep.
in play and
All the way.
have a place to put those rocks where you can keep them a little bit protected. And it's
Exactly. You need to establish presence in the front of the house.
All right,
Utilize
good
the free guard zone.
Sorry.
Well, these guards have suddenly been created now after that. As we were
being creative.
just slightly underthrown there from Stacy, and now nice opportunity to hide those rocks. Not intended by Behm here, but see if Freeman can make the most of it. Pretty big target area. I think this might overcurl though.
Yeah, it's cutting hard. It does not have a lot of handle on it, so. Well, they've got some guards in play, whether it was on purpose or not.
Yeah, see if they can make the most of it. Probably looking at a tap here.
And again, maybe considering that the double peel is Randy Delaney's not her favorite
Or do you
shot.
just want to draw?
Kendall giving her the option.
Just draw?
Yeah, I don't mind just plain draw here. That's
Let's tap this.
okay. Looks
Just
like they will
T-way.
make the tap instead. Pretty good margin for error on this shot, so
Yep. I might have considered coming at it the other way, because then even if it hangs a little bit, you hit it on the outside, you have that second guard to tap it under.
yeah, I agree with you, Courtney. In fact,
we're
this
gonna
one
play
looks like
the straight draw,
it
but
may
keep
be the
going.
straight draw after all, just over curling.
Yeah. It looks light for weight as
All
well.
the way. Get it in.
It might just get into the top 12.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good sweeping.
A monumental sweeping effort by Stacy and Judy. A skip I play with from time to time once said to me, when you're behind by a lot, you should never throw anything with more than backline weight. And I'm going to say, I think this is a lesson that would be a good one for Christy Freeman. She keeps playing these hits, and you just leave yourself not a lot of margin for error. And with an over curl on this hit, she's really giving up an opportunity to get one in the house behind all these guards. Oh, and I say that it over curls so much that she actually makes a brilliant shot and clips one behind the guard. Actually clips two into the house.
Yeah, really nice
behind
result
a guard.
there. And those guards are offset, so really awkward to get that. But you're absolutely right. I think I often forget you can use your opponent's rocks to your advantage just by their presence for freezies and tapbacks. So a straight draw here. Looks a little on the heavy side, no?
I think so.
Just a touch on the heavy side, but
Good line.
it's going to bury.
It'll stick for shot, though.
It is actually
and
shot.
it's dead buried, so it's going to put Freeman in a little bit of a jam. I might consider, if I was Freeman, playing a tap on the guard that's covering that rock and trying to roll the shooter into the house. Maybe open up that shot stone and put a little bit more pressure.
Yeah, you can certainly probably draw around and tap it back far enough to sit 1 and 2, but when you're playing with a rock behind the guard, behind the tee.
She's definitely going to get a bit of a tap here.
Yep.
Which is good. Leaves are sitting 2.
We're just going to take this out, okay? See if you can get here.
So pretty tight ice taken there. So expecting an upweight shot.
Kendall in the back of her mind, maybe not caring if she clips the guard on the way by. I think there's no danger of clipping the guard on this, though.
Stacy using her hand trying to will this rock to curl, but it's not going to do so.
Good try.
She's going to let Freeman off the hook a little bit and a free draw to come around this yellow guard. Sit 3.
And sit 3.
This might be the best position I've seen them in since I've been watching this game. Let's see if Kristen can make a good shot here and set them up to take a few points. If they could get a 3 end in this, it might, really put a dent in the deficit they've got right now.
Yeah, definitely give them a lot of confidence. They haven't had a lot going for them so far, so it'll be a big change in their mindset, right?
Yeah. It looks like we may have our first international viewer with Dana Kaiser joining the web stream. She's asking that if it's a Bucks County team, and that is that it is in fact a Bucks County team. Dana, thanks for joining us.
Full 8 foot is good. 4 foot's better.
And I got distracted by the chat box, and looks like the draw came up short.
I don't hate the result, though.
Nope, that's a usable stone. Nobody's owning the 4 foot yet, though. I'd love to see that.
Yes.
I think that's exactly what Kendall's after.
Yeah.
Yep. Yes.
Tricky little shot, though. You don't want to raise another red edge.
Indeed, this looks really heavy, too.
Yes. Up.
Oh, no.
Sneaks by the guard.
But
Okay, that's fine. Good shot, Judy.
taps back, shot stone.
That's not a great result.
And the rock is going to be mostly open. Oh, maybe not.
You only need to throw backline weight here. Any inside of that yellow rock.
Freeman indicated the freeze.
Interesting. Having that guard, that tight guard, throwing the freeze maybe is not a bad idea.
Yeah, you could run that guard back.
This
This
rock
again looks light, though.
maybe over curling as well.
Ugh.
Sadly light. Splitting those rocks would have been a great result as well.
Actually, gonna throw that.
Yeah,
Just
maybe
off
an
nose
angle
is
tap
perfect.
here.
So,
Lie on their
and
cover.
I think I'm just gonna throw T to back 4. I don't think it's gonna.
By
curl
my
good.
eye, it looks like there's actually,
out here, it just
for
doesn't
red,
curl.
a fairly straightforward double on those back
Maybe
two
just a little
yellows.
more, yeah.
So should they be able to get
We're just gonna
access,
throw the angle. Just be patient.
they could
I just want to throw
set a
like
boatload.
T-weight
Sorry.
to back 4.
No one wants to shit a boatload when they're curling.
Whoops.
Just be patient on that. Whoa.
Is Kendall just playing the tap here?
I believe so. She sees nothing but bad news on the outturn side.
Oh, this one's really turning, but this looks quite good, this shot.
Oh, great shot. Talk about owning the 4-foot. Half, or fully in the 4.
That's an end saver.
We missed
There's plenty of options remaining for Team Freeman here. Half of the rock that's on the center line
That's
would
really curled at the end. I didn't think
maybe
it
a
was
little less than
Redirect
half.
back onto shot stone. Yep, I think that's a great option.
Yeah, because it didn't
Really
curl
tricky
till,
would
like,
be
halfway
to
over the
redirect
hop.
off of shot stone and
Because I was even a
potentially
touch narrow, wasn't I?
move the rock in the back of the house as well.
Maybe that's why I'm wide all the time. But,
No one's calling that.
I don't think it's the best outcome. I think the magic here is weight control. You don't want to throw too much. You want to make sure your shooter sticks right on the center line.
Yeah.
I think you need to throw enough weight so that you can really control the curl, though. You need to be, it seems like there's some swingier lines.
Maybe board weight to control,
I like control.
soft control.
Freeman looks like she's throwing about of a bumper to bumper weight. And it appears to be over curling.
Yeah, this might actually be more like hack weight. Or less. Exposes shot rock.
I'm just gonna guard. Yeah.
Kendall
Right here.
says, I'll let her try another run back. I'm going to cover this hole.
Maybe just a.
Every time I look at sheet A, Linda Kirkman is just
a
like
guard.
running up and down the sheet.
Yes.
Like arms a flailing,
It should curl, but
antlers
not to
a
the end.
going. She is just super busy over
So if I
there.
call you on at the end, it's because I want you to. If I call you on at
It's
the end,
so
it's because
true.
I want it to curl a little bit more.
So just a straight guard for Kendall.
If it's over, just leave it. Okay, yep, go ahead now. Really hard, all the way, hurry.
This rock should finish.
Yeesh. Under curling, I think
Oh.
that port is still there. It's
I-
not an easy shot.
I think it is certainly there.
Unfortunately, it's only for one, but
Is the run back
Well, no, it doesn't.
redirect
it doesn't
off the
curl
one on the
till, like,
button
right
for
there.
Oh my
3
gosh,
available?
Melvin,
If
nobody's
there, then it
calling
doesn't
that shot.
curl. It just doesn't
I don't know
curl.
if you can see enough of it, Melvin. It's hard to get.
You would have to cross the
Dana
nose.
says that's pretty classic Linda. It kind of is.
It is permitted. Okay. Yes. Snow plowing is still not permitted. So that's like when you see
Whoa.
people just doing this. Like in our Tuesday game, one of the guy who's playing.
So it
lead
looks
was-
like they're going to go through the port for the single.
Yeah, yeah.
Just hit the yellow.
It's definitely there, but you know, this is not necessarily the shot that I want to be playing for one.
So
No, very easy to tick the red there and roll
Yeah.
out.
yes.
Yeah, taking the red would be tragedy.
Yeah, the problem was I was a little wide.
Potentially
And that's such a straight spot that it just
giving
wasn't,
up a steal
it's
of
just gonna
2.
do that.
And this rock does look like it's a bit wide.
Oh,
Yeah, sweeper's right off this one.
her first rock over curled, and this one.
It is
was
curling.
getting no love. I don't think she's by though.
It's
She's
close.
by.
Or is she? Oh, she is.
Great
Very
shot.
A
nice.
great shot for 1 by Christy Freeman. The warm room is erupting in claps.
Yeah, really nice shot there. Like you say, not the ones you want to be playing for 1 very often, but
No.
she made it pretty well.
That's why skips get paid the big bucks.
Great shot.
Get it, Bucks? Is it from Bucks County?
See what I did there?
I see what you did there.
Ouch.
Well, on that note, I'm going to leave you guys to finish this web stream. Holding down the fort pretty well.
Oh, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. I just keep bopping in for a couple ends here and a couple ends there.
Special guest star.
Special guest.
I forgot my mittens and my
My
hands
team
were
is done for
freezing.
the day, so we're just sort of hanging out. I guess I'll probably think about leaving soon, but I don't play again till 9 a.m. So to all the people viewing out there, have a lovely evening.
Let's take this out, Stacy.
A really tight ice taken here, so Kendall's asking for pretty up weight like normal.
Maybe playing to Stacy's tendencies a little bit as well. Out turns. Sometimes people throw out turns,
Really hard.
little in out, as we say. Slide a little tight and then throw back out to the room.
Good shot.
Makes them
Sorry, I
run fairly
just keep
straight.
missing those on hers.
Well,
Good sweeping.
the goal was achieved there. Nice shot.
Yeah, roll out is of no consequence.
I would really like to see Freeman call for a guard here. It's like calling top 12 again.
Yeah, really calling for a guard on basically every shot. This is kind of what she needs. Just a different approach to the game, and just is not working out.
Same thing, Stacy.
There's another takeout coming up. Same shot.
I will say that Team Behm has not missed very many takeouts.
Yes.
This is the commentator's curse.
Yep. All the way. Hurry.
That looks
I
pretty
don't think
good.
so. I think she'll make solid contact here.
Great shot. Good sweeping.
Yeah, very nicely done.
The commentator's curse.
What are you looking for?
Not this time. Yeah, Team Behm have been very solid on those. It's a good test of a team, whether they can play with that consistency on takeouts. This one thrown a little tight. And I think that it's going to curl all the way past.
It will over curl. I kind of wish we had the camera crew of TSN, because that was a
Right there on the T line, Ernie.
great a great moment of distress. The player just threw that shot.
Just gonna keep it simple here. Just draw the open side.
We're in for sure, it looks like, right?
Kendall has no interest in throwing any
Okay.
guards here.
The sweepers also have no interest in sweeping this rock.
Hey, it works. pretty good on her own, huh?
It's close.
Great shot, Rainey. That's right where I wanted it.
It's because Rainey threw the perfect weight. If you wanted to nitpick, you'd say that that is about a foot too deep, but pretty darn good.
So what's the call here? I'm not sure. Probably, oh, looks like it's going for the hit.
He's going for the hit. I think they'd love to have the roll over to the rock just thrown. I think they're going to hit the wrong side for that.
Okay, Rainey, let's take this out. Normal. Yes. Yep. All the way.
Rainey with her final
Really hard.
rock
Hurry,
of
hurry,
the
hurry,
set.
hurry. Hard.
Just a little soft again, I think, but
Great shot.
Super's managed to hold onto it.
Does, and keeps the shooter.
And a pretty good result, actually, rolling to the wings. Really not giving Freeman anything to work with. So they're looking at freezing down to this yellow. I kind of like that call. It's really the only way you can put a little bit of pressure on right now.
Got a bit of an update on sheet D. Looks like the McCartney team from CCBA steals 5 in the 6th end. That game now at 7-3. Quite a turn of events there.
I haven't seen too many of those.
No, you will not see that every day. Meanwhile, over on sheet A, Freeman continues to pile up the points, stealing another point in the 5th end. The game now at 7-0.
Now here's an interesting situation. I mean, if you were watching the Briar or something like that, you would probably just see the center guard be peeled. But peels are tough shots, and so kind of just opting for a straight draw here.
Yes, for line.
Yeah,
two.
maybe Kendall recognizing those 2 rocks she has in the 12-foot
Hard,
on either
ladies, you got
side.
it.
Kind of envisioning jamming
keep
that
going.
peel.
It looks beautiful. Keep going. All the way as far as it
Jamming
will.
that peel might also result
Nice shot.
in
Good sweeping.
guarding the other rock that is behind the tee. So not only would you leave a red rock in there, but you would leave a guarded rock behind the tee.
Yeah, so avoiding any of those complications with this. And a really nice job there by Judy Braxton, drawing in top 8.
Yeah, perfectly placed, about as high in the house as it could be.
This one coming up very light again.
Finally getting those guards in play. I just think that
Same thing, Judy. If you tap it, that's perfectly fine too.
maybe not the right time.
Yeah, it's absolutely already 3 yellows in the rings. So Judy just trying the same shot here, really. Just draw it behind the guards. A little tap's
Just gotta
okay.
curl a little bit. Go ahead
She's
if you
just
need
thrown
to.
this rock, so I have to
Yep,
have to
all
think
the
that
way.
she'd be pretty close.
We're gonna go around it.
Looks like they're going all the way
Going around it is
All
a
the way.
great result.
Hurry.
Nice shot.
That's a great shot. Thank you.
That's a perfect shot.
So now what do you do if you're Freeman? I think I would be thinking about trying to freeze down to that one that was just thrown.
Yeah, I mean, you can get really creative and try to nose tap the one that is on the top 4.
Good shot.
Maybe set up kind of a pocket behind the tee.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Something for you to work with on your last rock. I really kind of think that she needs to be thinking in that
Great shot.
kind of creative way. It may even be possible to nose with enough weight to move both of those rocks completely out of the 4-foot into the 8-foot or the 12-foot. In this case, looks like we're trying to pick off shot rock.
Looks like they are going to get it, but
perfectly
just
executed. Almost no tolerance by that rock. That's
Just
top
a little
8.
off nose is fine, little off nose.
Yeah, but
pretty hard to
unfortunately,
catch,
just
so.
a great shot, but just not putting a lot of pressure on Behm. Shooter stays in the open. Don't expect too many misses
Nose
with
is
these.
fine, a little off nose is fine.
Yeah. As Kendall said, nose is fine, but no need to be cute by that rock in the top of the house. Peel
That looks a lot
is
friendlier down here.
really just fine, too. Sheet C still in the 6th end, so...
Yep.
Or just starting the 6th end anyway, so pretty slow play there. However, the Raptors squad scoring 1 with Hammer in the 5th. That game at 5-2 in favor of the Raptors squad.
Meanwhile, Kendall, very nicely done there.
Did
get a little tight to the front yellow, but managed to get it by.
Sure did, but perfect result.
Thank you.
There was no
They held that
roll
really well.
under
I did not throw that
the
well.
center.
Yeah, I really don't see a lot of options here for Freeman. Maybe
My hair tie
well,
is like not
hard to
quite
draw around
tight
on the left-hand side of the sheet as we're looking at it. With the
enough.
guards
Loose
in the
enough
way.
for, like, to wrap around 3 times.
Very difficult to get behind those yellows to try for a steal.
Yeah, I think the best option might be to try to draw around on the
I
intern
straightened
side
it. It's like it's just as slippy.
and sit shot, knowing full well that with the placement of those yellow rocks,
right. Plus I wanted to
Kendall
wear
is going to
sweatshirts
have a
work
shot
today,
on
so
the
I was like,
outer
well, I'm gonna
side
straighten my
for
hair.
potentially a big end.
It looks dressier.
But if you dropped it, if you managed to drop it so that it was just
I
out
look less
counting
sloppy than I guess.
shot
Or
rock
I feel less sloppy.
on the intern side, it would make it for a difficult shot to remove it.
Slower, because we haven't thrown things sides.
Yeah, tricky line though to negotiate that white guard and not crash on the yellows.
I'm down here, yeah.
But I think
Because
they have to
I'm
try
just not
for something at this
accurate
point.
enough,
So
plus, like, I don't know everybody's delivery.
the only other shot that springs to mind is to try a flat hit and roll. But that's also a very difficult shot, obviously. It's questionable whether you'd be able to. You would probably be able to stay in the 4-foot if you got it perfect.
Oh, I see, on the outside. Yeah, that guard again is complicating things.
Yes.
You would have to throw that. You have to throw that with your out turn, which is probably the right handle for that shot.
This looks like it's really carving in there.
It is by the center guard.
It's going to count a couple of the yells, but
Actually, if that was the right weight, would have been really close.
actually only gets in for a 4th shot there, so this is going to be a draw for 4, and that will probably put this game to bed, I think.
I would say that puts it just about out of reach.
Tough shot there for Freeman. They didn't really have a lot of great options.
We're just gonna draw, and I can run.
It wasn't too
into my
far
own,
away,
that's fine.
just a tough one there. So just draw. If you rest right on your own yellow, you'll be fine.
Go ahead, you can sweep. You can't hurt it because you're on the other one now.
Yeah, no pressure on this draw. Kendall could really throw back 8 weight comfortably.
And that looks absolutely perfect.
Since she threw perfect weight.
And I think we'll see handshakes here, yep. And that will be a win for Behm, and it will be his final score. Be 10 points to 3, so a pretty comprehensive win. Just really solid, really consistent. Got off to a great start and never really let Freeman back into it, so they'll be pretty happy with that.
I'd say so. Maybe we can flip over to action on sheet C.
Okay.
Maybe we can.
Yay!
Oh, there it goes. There we go. Sheet C is the Misfits Takeouts versus the Raptor Squad. I know that the Misfit Takeouts are from Potomac. I'm not sure about the Raptor Squad. Well, I know they're not from Potomac. This game is running a bit long. They are still on Vice Rocks in the 6th end.
Which way do you do? I don't know.
It gets done both ways, so.
Yeah.
Bear with us while we figure out how to finagle
So how do drinks
cameras,
Drink there's cards.
team
that,
names, and all that good
I
stuff
have one.
off of
Like
our
you
feature
have.
sheet
So
and
you
onto
buy a card
our
for $20.
soon-to-be feature sheet.
Oh, okay.
$10 off it.
Okay.
Meanwhile, I can describe what is
Can I get you something?
transpiring, which is kind of interesting.
Vodka cup soda with the lime. Oh, thank you.
The Misfit Takeouts are yellow rocks. The Raptor Squad red. The Misfit Takeouts currently have Hammer down 5-2.
You're so here.
However, sitting 2, as you
It
can
is
see,
so cold.
with a fair number of guards in play. So scoring
so
a
I
deuce
have to
here
do
looks
one
like
of
a
these
pretty
drink
good outcome.
things.
Pretty likely outcome.
First, I want M&Ms. First, I want M&Ms.
This is, I believe, Miriam? What's her name? Throwing the guard.
It is indeed. That's Miriam Turnenko.
Thank you.
Throws an overlapping guard there, which doesn't quite cover the rock top 8. So there is a double available, but it's not a gimme double by any stretch of the imagination. Maybe hard to tell from the angle, but I believe the skip from the hack will see just barely all of that rock. And we'll need to hit about
Can I give this back to you now?
Absolutely.
about 3/4 to make the double.
Thank you.
Like, if I yell, is that like?
Go ahead and mute Kendall so she can chat and feel free to talk without us butting in on our conversations.
We're just about caught up here with the scoreboard. Currently 5-2 to the Raptor squad.
Deft work on the controls there.
Had a little help.
Sweeper's working this rock hard. Oh, and it just feathers the guard. Feathers the guard, even makes contact with the object rock. Unfortunately, that just tucks it even further. Maggie's going to be, would appear to be happy to guard this. Trying to preserve her deuce. I got to say that it's tough to argue with this strategy. The draw right now to cut her down is difficult. But were she to make this this guard perfectly, it's basically going to force Amanda Brockman and the Raptor squad into making the draw.
Yeah, I like this call too, Melvin. I think it's a good opportunity. You're not leaving much if you make this guard successfully. Sweeper's on it straight away though, so concerned about it. Maybe it's just too light. Might not even make it.
Maggie urging the rock forward as much as the sweepers. And that rock was going, I think, at a 90-degree angle to the hog line by the time I got there. So I don't think any sweepers in the world would have got that across.
Yeah, I don't think so. Still, it's tough to make the double here on these two yellows. Because of the guards, it's hard to get to the nose, the top one. I don't have the best camera angle from here, but from behind the house, it does look quite difficult. Maybe you can see enough. Looks like it is there.
I'd say it is there. It is now, since that rock has been moved over. It's closer to 7/8. Which is kind of good news because it means that you will likely stick your shooter fairly close and clog that hole. And you're going to force then Maggie to make a pretty difficult draw for one. This rock looks wide, though. Wide of the mark. By a fair margin. Not the result that... I believe that's Amanda Brockman. Sorry if it's not. I'm not familiar with this team. I'm just going by the lineup that's posted here. Maggie trying to find the right draw path to get to the 8-foot. Really just needs about 3/4 12-foot.
Yeah, fairly low pressure shot here, so they'll be happy.
Does have to go out into kind of no man's land. Pretty wide. I guess the good news is her deuce is all but guaranteed here. Certainly don't want to leave this point just hanging out. Being tied as opposed to being down one. It's a big difference.
Here it comes.
Sweepers on it immediately.
This one, pretty wide. Sweepers have to be a bit careful with the line.
I think it's by the corner guard. It's just a matter of having the legs now.
And
Nope.
Looks like it's, yeah, it's going to come out pretty light.
I had a bad angle on that shot.
Yeah, just a bit light, and it also hung out there, so. But it will be 2 points.
Sure, and they'll be happy with that. This game now a tight one with the Raptor squad up 1 with Hammer in the 7th end.
And so here is coming up is the lead for the Misfit Takeouts, Danielle McLeod-Henning. And this one looking, well, sweepers called it light. It does look like it's going to be a, well, it looks like a fairly reasonable guard, a little bit high. Not sure exactly where they wanted it. Probably did want a bit tighter to the house than that.
Perhaps. So, unfortunately, I'm going to need to sign off. I am double booked as both commentator and Iceman, and we are scheduled for a evening scrape coming up right now. So I'm going to go ahead and get myself prepared for that.
Yeah, excellent. Well, thanks very much for working in the booth.
I leave you in the sturdy hands of Andy, and maybe I can find someone to help you lighten the load.
Special guests are always welcome here in the commentary box.
Thanks a bunch.
Thanks, Melvin. All right, Melvin is away to do ice duty. Very important. Got to scrape in, make sure the ice is in good condition for the players. Here's Danielle with her second stone. Well, they'll tap the red back, but they won't remove it, and I don't think they will move it far enough to get shot. But the red is now in the back 8, so not a big problem. They won't be too worried about that. And it gives them something to work with as well later on in the end for freezies and steal attempts. So this should be Martha O'Connor here. Looking for the... well, I actually missed what the call was there. I thought they were looking for the takeout, but judging from this stone, I might have misseen that. Yeah, no, it looks like they were going for the takeout, and made nicely there. If the yellow will get out of the rings, which I think it will. No, just hangs on at the edge. The yellow is biting at the back. But red's sitting too. So here's Haley Tamburello, second. Will they get past the guard? Yep. Nicely past the guard. And it looks like they will tap that red back. But it will stick around for some backing, so a good shot there. Raptor squad, I think, just looking to follow that down. Getting into a freeze game here. Sweepers have to go hard here to get past the guard. I don't think they're going to do it. Nope. Just a little deflection, I think. And it will come up a little bit short. So an interesting situation here for the Misfit takeouts. Looking to steal. Yellow in the back 8. But hard to protect the stone there for a whole end. So well, they will be playing a guard. But again, there's going to be a lot of opportunities for Raptor squad to make a play into the forefoot. A nice guard there. So a tap up is available for Raptor squad, and that looks like what they're going to go for. That's the trouble with the guard. I would have been tempted to remove one of those reds and flop over a little bit. Kind of with the same result, but with one less red available to be tapped up. Sweeper's not touching this. Weight looks okay. Must just be for the line. Well, I think they could have been on that a little earlier, maybe. It curled over. It's a good line. Perhaps just waited a little bit too long. to go for the weight. Draw attempt coming up a little bit light. Just moving the front guards around. Doesn't hurt the misfit takeouts, but still just that one solitary yellow in the back there. Hard to remove right now, but Raptor squad still controlling the front of the house to some degree. Wondering a bit what to do here, though. I think, yeah, deciding things are a little bit too cluttered. Need to open it up. I think that's probably the right call here. Can't make a play on any of your reds in the top house right now, so move things around, create some more space. Sweeper's right off, though. And well, not a bad result. We'd have liked to move those guards a little bit further out of play. They're kind of awkwardly spread out. Still not a lot of access to the house, so. And Maggie is just calling for another guard here, so. This is Miriam Turnenko's second shot. Looks a little on the heavy side. May have to split these guards. And that's, yeah. But open it up a little bit more than they'd like, I think. Just maybe too much weight there. Looking for a guard. That one was definitely in the house on its own. So now an opportunity to tap some of these reds. Still a tricky one. A double tap is available. Even if you don't make it perfect, you give yourself some more options. Just biting the forefoot would get you shot. Nicely done there. Nice double tap. Pretty good. If you were going to be extremely picky, you could say it went a little too far. It's now behind the tee line, but pretty good shot there. And I think it's at least partially covered. There might be a port there to get to it down the center line. It's hard to see from our camera angle how much those guards are overlapping, but there might be a path. Have to throw it very hard, though. Might just have to open it up here a little bit, or accept the one and try to prevent them from scoring two. And even if you get through to that, even if you can get through, you're probably going to jam on the back, so it's not clear how much value there is playing that. Have to stick your shooter around. Well, they're having a quick discussion here. It looks like they're going to just guard, so maybe accepting the Raptor squad is going to score 1 point and then make it hard to score 2. Not a lot of access to the forefoot, so not a bad call here. And a really nice looking guard there for Maggie. So now the quandary for Raptor squad, what to do? Not a lot of access right now to get in for a second point, so might be interested in trying to clear some of these guards, but not so clear how to go about doing that in this position. One of those reds at the top of the house might be available for a tap. The one that's just above the house, I think, is available to be tapped through the center. It looks like that might be the call, so we'll see. This one is coming up too light, and it will be a hogged stone. Not sure if they were just attempting a guard there or whether it was just underthrown. So I think it might be another guard thrown here by Maggie Charlo. Just concede 1 point. I've just been asked what happened on sheet D, and it looks like one of the teams just scored 5 to tie the game up in the 8th, and that they're now about to play an extra end. So it was 8-3, and it looks like it's now 8-8. So a big score there. If I was trying to confirm that for you. Meanwhile, on our feature sheet, this guard coming up very light, and it will be another hog, I think. So both skips there, hogging stones. Being a little caught out there. So yeah, on sheet D, they are now playing I think they are now playing the. I think they are playing an extra end here. So. Interesting times over there. I'll try and keep you updated on that. think we are looking at the red tap again here. That will be for a second point. And that would probably take the game out of reach. Although we just saw what happened on sheet D, so I never say never. This one just needs to curl over. I think it's going to wreck on the guards. Tough shot, so will just be the single. Raptors go take a 2-point lead going into the final end. So Misfit takeouts opting to throw it into the house here. They do need to score 2, so I think wouldn't have minded putting a guard up here. Give you something to work with, a nice corner guard after that miss from Raptor squad. This one looking a bit heavy though, so it may end up in the house anyway. In the back of the house anyway. No, right to the tee line, so
She said keep. What? She said sit.
the confusion there. It turns out hit and sit sound very similar when you're like 100 feet away, so looks like they're going to go for the freeze instead. Looks like it's over curled. They're running out of rings here. And they're just going to end up in a no man's land right on the wing there. This one coming up a little bit short. It was meant to be a top 12. Comes up as a 3 guard. But they could use that later, needing to score 2 points here to tie things up. So not a bad result. So meanwhile, Raptor squad probably going to try to hit and roll underneath here. The only drawback is if you roll underneath, you will be behind the tee line. So it won't be a bad thing to just hit and stick in the open either, or roll away. Well, they will make the roll. Nice shot. So the only issue now is the back four, so a nice freeze opportunity is available. And that is the call. Sweeper's working hard. Has it got the weight? It's close. It's just going to come up just a little light. Just grabbing the top 12. Raptor squad opting for a guard. I guess presumably they want to guard tapping that stone. The red is pretty well protected by the longer yellow guard. But the weight looks pretty hot on this one, so it may go all the way through. Which they wouldn't really mind, actually. I mean, probably rather go all the way through than stay in the back house. So don't really want to leave stones around to be frozen to. So another freeze attempt here. Or rather, I think straight draw this time. Draw behind the yellow guard. Just needs to curl a bit and get buried. Really nice weight. And I think they will bury a piece of it. Well, Raptor squad saying they can see almost all of it, so just couldn't quite get it underneath the guard, but good shot nonetheless. Maybe no, almost maybe a change of strategy there for a second, but back to the original plan. And interesting result. Not sure how happy they are with that. The good news is their red is now frozen, in effect, to that yellow, which is hard to remove. So it's going to be harder for the Misfit takeouts to score 2. So not a bad situation, actually. Pretty good result from that. But both rocks still by the tee line, so there is room to draw here. And from where I'm sitting, the line looks a bit tight here. So we'll see. May end up tapping their own yellow up. Just going to come up a little light, so just to the yellow. Tiny tap. Unfortunately, those yellows are not lined up well for Misfit takeouts now. I think they may have to try coming around the other side of the sheet now to get at that yellow, sorry, at that red. Looks like it's just going to rub off those yellows a little bit, and well, creates a little bit extra cover for the red-yellow combination there, just behind the button. I think if I was the Misfit take, I would be thinking about, even though those guards are yellow, I would think about moving some of those, because you really have to create some more access to the forefoot. Nice hit and roll there, just rolling a little bit underneath though. And well, it's now a bigger pocket for that redstone, unfortunately. If you could ever move that, somehow you would be lying a bundle, but the only way to do that right now is some sort of run back. Misfit takeouts here could consider, obviously a very difficult shot, but there is an angle slash here on that red that's in the top 12. You slash that in, double the other red. It is there, obviously a very hard shot, but if they run out of options, that will always be available as their last ditch attempt, and there's a lot of other yellows in the house, so you could be able to score that way. So right now, I think we're going to have a guard here from the Raptor squad. Let's see. Or possibly a tap up. And this one is just going to come up on the center line. A little bit in no man's land, I think. Not sure what they were, what the target was, but I don't think that was quite what they wanted. Not quite set up for a tap, a double tap for the Misfits though. All the stones out the front are overlapping. The angles are just not working here for the Misfits. It's just very difficult to use any of those. But, so you might consider playing some weight into those. Just try and move them around. They're really not helping you. You have two yellows in at the back. Difficult situation. Looks like, from the ice, looks like a draw attempt, but with that yellow now in the top 12 and biting the top 8, it's very hard to get around to the nose of this red. And this one just coming up a little bit light. So it's going to be going to be left with a tough shot to score after this. I think I personally would be guarding that angle slash on that red. It's the only shot that I really see to score more than one, which is what they need. So you don't mind giving up one here. Looks like they're just going to guard this draw path, but not sure if I would be playing it this way. Maybe the other option would be maybe they try to sink another one in there, just a little bit of insurance. Lie 2. But the danger is that you actually create a better angle to remove your reds. Well, let's see. That one just hanging way out there and all the way through to the back line. So now it's crunch time for the Misfit takeouts. Got to score 2 to tie it up. One red sitting frozen, buried. Only shot I really see is the angle slash there. You see the red on the top 12. Or potentially the other red that's right on the wing there, close to the sideline on the other side. Both obviously very difficult shots. Don't see anything useful off of the guards out front. And this one, well, it's going right to the sideline. I think they might have been trying that in-off, but that one's not getting there, and so that will be the game, and it will be a win for the Raptor squad over the Misfit takeouts, and that concludes this draw. So thank you very much for watching. There's going to be a bit of a break for a scrape, and the next draw will be this evening at about 8 o'clock, 8:15. So thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.